everybody, and here are the 2-3 notes graphing equations of lines. Easy peasy stuff. Our central question: how are the graphs of horizontal and vertical lines written as equations? As I record these, I do have a visitor in the room, Olivia, again from yesterday, maybe chiming in here and there to help you guys remember what to do when graphing. So simply put, when we have the graph y equals negative 2/3 x minus 1, what should kind of go off in your mind is, hey, that's a linear equation because it's in the form y equals mx plus b. I know you've seen this before, but just a refresher as to what all is going on here. Okay, first off, we have this b thing, which this plus b, that is the y-intercept. So when it says to identify the y-intercept, that is the last tail end, what is going on. So we have minus 1 as our y-intercept. Negative 1 is the y-intercept. Notice standard form is plus, well, sorry, slope-intercept form, and since it's minus 1, it's minus, okay? The other thing going on is the number in front of the x, the coefficient in front of the x, and in our case, that's a negative 2/3. So m is your slope, okay? Y-intercept is b, m is your slope, that's negative 2/3. It does not matter if you have the negative on the 3 or on the 2. Students ask me all the time what matters. I would say, just so we're all on the same page, keep it up top. That way it can help us graph. So really it's okay, but I will show you a little trick here as to what to do from there. Once you know the y-intercept and the slope, all you have to do is plot the points on your graph. It's pretty easy. The y-intercept is always going to be at the point, whatever x is 0, comma, negative 1. It's going to cross, hey, the y-axis because it's the y-intercept. So the y-axis is the vertical axis, and it's going to cross at 0, comma, negative 1. Boop, right there. Boop, 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 okay? Now we use our slope to guide us to the next point. So the reason I have it as negative 2/3. Negative 2 up top means I want to fall 2, and then 3 on the bottom means to go to the right 3. Okay, so from my blue point, I'm going to drop 2, boop, boop, and then go over 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So there is the next point. You could do that a few times to get yourself a nice idea, but basically, and you can go in the opposite direction, keep in mind. So up 2/3, but it should be a pretty straight line when you're through with it. I'm going to do my best to make a straight line here. Connect the dots, and that's okay. You do have rulers, but that's the line. That's it. Easy stuff. Students do forget about the falling and to the right. I always put the negative up top because that means I'm going to fall, and then I always go to the right. To the right, to the right. Okay, moving on to graphing from a standard form. Standard form's a little bit different. I like to make it easy, and some students may say, well, can't you just put it into slope-intercept? You could, but it's really actually easier. You can find what are known as the intercepts. So this is an intercept table. Intercept. All right, and it's pretty neat. All you do is you put in 0 for x, and in another spot, you put in 0 for y. Okay? We're going to find the 2 points where it crosses the axes. So to find 0 for x, to find the x-intercept, we substitute 0 in for y. So we have 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 10. And you solve that. What happens is 2 times 0, that's just going to cancel out 0. We have 5x equals 10. That should be an easy solution because you know x equals 2. What that means is you have x is equal to 2, y is equal to 0. So the x-intercept down below here is 2, comma, 0. You can find the x or the y first, it doesn't really matter. The y-intercept is going to be the coordinate 5 times 0 plus 2 times y equals 10. So the y-intercept, you have y left in the equation. The x-intercept, you have x left in the equation. Same thing, 2y equals 10, and the y-intercept is 5. So 0, 5 is the y-intercept. Okay, you have 2 points now, so you plot them both. Over 0, up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over 2 to 0. And connect the dots. There's only 2 of them here. Connect them. And it's pretty sloppy, but that's the idea there. So standard form, I would make a table. It's going to help when you come to word problems. Students forget this. They forget the table. Don't forget the table. It's a neat trick to help you out. So use that table for standard form. When do you use it? For standard form. Okay. The last bit of knowledge I wish to instill in you today is horizontal and vertical. I told you guys yesterday, these are the things that students forget even as seniors. Well, not you guys. You're going to remember because Mr. Dvorsky told you so. Graph y equals 2. Y means horizontal. Okay, I'll show you some tricks to remember. And that means we want a horizontal line at 2. Okay? Y means we're looking at the y-axis, so we're going to look at the y-axis, the blue thing here. If you're colorblind, I apologize, but it is the highlighted axis. Okay, and we want the blue on 2. And we want our horizon to be there. So a straight line at 2. Okay, that is y equals 2, horizontal. X at -3 means we want a vertical line. Notice how you spell vertical. It's okay, I won't take points off, but I do see students make up their own little languages. It's pretty creative. V-E-R-T-I-C-A-L at -3. And that just means, so now we're looking at the x-axis. That's where we want to be. And at -3 is right there, straight up and down from there. Tips and tricks to remember vertical, horizontal. Van Halen. You're like, what? Who is that band? If you don't know, look them up. They're a pretty cool band. Anyway, Van Halen, VH, can kind of correspond to vertical, horizontal, if you look at coordinate pairs. And what we're learning is that vertical is X, horizontal is Y. So you could choose Van Halen, Van Helsing, Van Heusen, Vanessa Hudgens, anything that chooses your VH combo. The key thing is X is vertical and Y is horizontal. Okay, with those tips in hand, really graphing should be easy peasy. Remember the table, remember horizontal, vertical, and remember the y-intercept stuff. So short notes for that today should be pretty easy. And that's about it. Make sure you answer the questions that follow and have a wonderful day today.